All right, class, this is Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is titled Calculation of Solid Oral Doses and Dosages. This is Lecture 2, Chapter 7, Lecture 2. I stopped at the end of Practice Problems A. You guys should have basically completed Practice Problems A. So moving on to Practice Problems B on page 217. Again, this lecture, you should only review these lecture videos after you have read the chapter, reviewed the PowerPoint, and also have read the lecture notes provided to you within Blackboard. So, moving forward, we are going to complete or just do a couple of problems from Practice Problems B on Chapter 17, starting on page 217. So basically, Chapter 7 is calculation of solid oral doses and dosages. And what you guys have learned thus far is that you guys have two methods that you can calculate a dose with. You can use either the ratio proportion method or the formula method. And out of those two, you're going to choose a method that you are more comfortable using. Thus far, you have been seeing me use the formula method. So from this point on, you're always going to see me solve these dosages. I'm calculating a dose using the formula method. Now, when they say calculating a dose, you are calculating how much medication a patient is receiving in one sitting. All right. So on page 217, Practice Problems B, they tell you that we are to calculate the following problems using the method that is most comfortable for you. Show all calculations. Indicate how the medication order will appear on the prescription label. So if I look at number 1, all right, number 1 says a physician orders ferrous sulfate 5 grain by mouth twice a day. The available medication is labeled ferrous sulfate 325 milligrams. So I'm going to write this out. Again, how the problem is presented or given to you can be given to you in different ways and given to you in a word problem or in numbers, but the process of solving the problem is still the same. So again, it tells you that a doctor orders ferrous sulfate 5 grains by mouth twice a day. What I have in stock is ferrous sulfate 325 milligram tabs. All right. So in order to interpret this order, that's the first thing I need to do is interpret the order. You read the order for what it says. So interpreting the order means read the prescription as you see it. So it will read ferrous sulfate 5 grains by mouth twice a day. All right. The next section is asking me to determine the dose to be given. That's where you're either going to use the formula method or the ratio proportion method. So using the formula method is dose ordered over dose available times the quantity. And so my dose ordered, the order is asking for 5 grains. But remember, the availability, what you have in stock, is 325 milligrams. You need to change the order to match the units for the stock. So because it's the stock medication is in milligrams, that means that your order needs to be in milligrams. In order to solve and calculate a dose, the units have got to be the same. So you're going to convert 5 grains to milligrams by using the 65 milligram conversion. Why is that? Because 5 times 65 is what? 325 milligrams, which is the same amount of milligram that the stock medication comes. Which means now I can solve my problem by dose ordered, which is 325 milligrams, over dose available, which is 325 milligrams. Multiply that by the quantity associated to the stock medication, which is 1 tab. So the dose to be given in this case is 1 tablet. All right. And now the next section is for you to determine, or for you to provide, the prescription label. What would the prescription label read? Remember, the prescription label is for who to understand? It's for the patient to understand. So your label will read, take 1 tablet by mouth twice a day. So let me make sure that I'm following the format. You have to have a verb. In this case, it's take. You have to have a dose. In this case, it's 1. That's what you calculate your dose to be. Your dose form is tablet. Your route of administration is by mouth, and your frequency is twice a day. So my label instructions is correct. I'm telling the patient to take 1 tablet by mouth twice a day. Let's go ahead and try number 2. Number 2, practice problem B on page 217 for chapter 10. Number 2. It says a physician orders phenobarbital half a grain, tab, by mouth at bedtime. The medication in stock is phenobarbital 60 milligram tabs. So the first thing you need to do is you need to interpret the order. When you interpret the order, you read the order just as you see it. So I read this order to say phenobarbital half a grain tablet by mouth at bedtime. That is what I interpret this order to read. Now I need to provide the dose. The dose, in order to calculate a dose, how much medication a patient will take in one sitting, I either need to use the ratio proportion method or the formula method. So, using the formula method, where you take dose order over dose available times the quantity, I am going to take the dose order. The dose ordered in this case is half a grain. The dose available is 60 milligrams. Remember, your units for dose ordered and dose available have to match. Because my units for dose ordered does not match the stock medication, I need to change my half a grain to milligrams. So, you guys already know that 1 grain equals either 60 milligrams or 65 milligrams, depending on the manufacturer. Well, the stock medication uses 60 milligrams, which means that they use the conversion of 1 grain equals 60 milligrams, which means that the dose order is half of that 60. So your dose order is 30 milligrams. Dose available is 60 milligrams. And you're going to multiply that by the amount of tablets that equal to that 60 milligrams, which is 1 tab. Milligrams cross out, leaving you with what? Half a tablet, 0.5 tab. Now your next thing that you need to do is you need to provide the label. So you're providing the label instructions. Again, the label, the prescription label is for instructions for the patient to understand. So you have to have a verb, a dose form, a route of administration, and a frequency. So it should read, take half a tablet by mouth at bedtime. That's it. Moving forward, you guys, I need for you guys to do the remaining practice problems for practice problems B, numbers 3 through 10, that's pages 217 through pages 219, and practice those problems. If you get stuck on any of them, feel free to send me an email.